Hello everyone. In this video I am going to show you how to install virtual machines on VMware, how to upload ISO, and how to create a domain controller environment and some of the basic things. But why am I showing this video? Basically, our members, when they go to jobskillshare.org, currently we're creating a new pathway where they start the IT support technician learning path. They finish IT fundamental v1.0. So when they get to this course, this is a technical course. It's a very technical course, and in this everything is done on the server. Then we do have other labs which are timed, meaning like you have a specific task, you do it, and then after that it's not going to give you more opportunity because it's 60 minutes time in that server, so that will go away. Those are very powerful labs, but that's specifically designed for you to learn something specific. Here in this section you will need a full server to be able to do things, because you get tired. You don't have, let's say you do the installation today and you got tired, you want to come back tomorrow, then that is the ability that we are giving you. But it doesn't come with any membership. If you're a premium member, you still have to go here to server. If you're a plus member, you still have to go to server and purchase that. Currently it is not available. You have to request it manually, but our live members can get access to it directly when they do a live training. So I'm going to do the steps anyway. So I was thinking, why not I share this with YouTube, because there's a lot of things that you can learn. Now, why do we share? Why do we put everything on a VMware? Because VMware is well known in the market. When you go out for jobs, and you can see if I put VMware with the title, junior help desk, everything, hypervisor VMware technologies like VMware, system admin user VMware, so many things. So everybody knows about VMware, and that's why we are using VMware for our lab technology. First, you're getting a direct access to the hypervisor on the direct server, so meaning you can do everything from the backend, which is kind of important for you to learn. A lot of people will give you virtual machine access, which is okay, but still you're missing out too many things. How did you create those virtual machines? And here they're asking you to know this stuff. So without wasting any time, I'm just gonna go into and kind of explain things while I do things. This is going to be a little rough video, so please forgive me if it gets a little boring. I'm gonna log in. This is the login you get when you manually request for us to this access, and also you get it when you become a live member. So right now this is a VMware ESXi dashboard. You log into the server. It tells you that you have 8 CPU and 30 GB hard disk. So this is what you get. And basic networking, you don't have to worry about it at this point. Virtual machines, there's nothing in there. Storage, you have about 340 GB hard disk. And network, like I said, it's basic. So you're gonna come here, and the first thing we need to do is, how do we install operating systems? So for that you need the ISO file. Basically what ISO is, you go to online, just like CD and USBs, that's physical, but here you get it in a file format, and you download that from Microsoft site. So you basically go to the Microsoft, type 2012 server ISO trial, and you're gonna get to the site, register, and download it. I did that. So I'm gonna go and upload these 2 files into the data store. How do I do that? You click on the data store, go to data store browser, and here you click on upload, and then pick those 2 files. So these are the 2 that I downloaded. As you can see, one is 2019 server, so I'm going to go ahead and pick that, and it started uploading to that server through the internet. And I'm going to upload the second one, which is Windows 10 machine. Now in our servers we give you about 120 Mbps or 110 Mbps, which is a lot of bandwidth for just labs. So even this 2 ISOs are getting uploaded through the internet, and you can see it's pretty good. It's not bad at all. While this is getting uploaded, just to give you a little summary of why we are doing this, we basically go through live training like this. This is an actual live training I'm doing with a member, and you can see my face in there. And then we went through all these, basic stuff, and then this is where I explained to the member that this is where you need to come, and you're gonna do all this kind of stuff. And we're gonna went through so many different things over here. And later on, when everything is done in the first session, we tell the member, okay, this is your time to start the lab now. We talk about ticketing system, all that stuff. and then we get into this hands-on lab where a member then needs to come here and then create the whole environment themselves. So we created first for them, just to kind of have a second, kind of like you can watch this if you get stuck, but the member have to do everything on their own to get practice for 30 days. And this is also covered in this course. We're trying to cover everything in this course, exactly similarly what we're doing in live training, but of course you don't have a trainer in this course, but still it's going to be almost identical, but this is not completed fully yet. That is our goal, main goal for why we're doing this. Now that it's almost done, and when I jump into creating a domain controller, you may be thinking too many questions could arise in for you right now from this lab. Now remember, all that theoretical learning, all that talking is done in this training. So you have to either take a training or you have to understand the domain versus work group, logical topologies, all that kind of stuff is done over here. That's why we spent almost 2 hours in just one session. These are 5 sessions. So that's why I wanted to make sure I kind of give you this information before you get confused. Right now, ISOs are downloaded. These are, you see, even though it shows like a CD in there, so just like a virtual CD. So it's downloaded. We're ready to go. We're ready to put our first virtual machine. The first virtual machine that I like to put for a member is kind of like I create a domain controller, and I will call it domain controller trainer. So the user know that this is kind of like trainer machine. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead to virtual machine, create. Here you can create a new virtual machine, you can import virtual machines, you can register an existing virtual machine. We're interested in a new one. We're gonna click next, and I'm gonna call it DC trainer. Okay, and then you will select the operating system. We're going to come here, Windows, and I believe they don't have 2019. That's fine. I'm gonna pick 2016, the latest 64-bit, and I'm gonna click next here, and that's fine. I'm gonna click next, and here I'm going to give the domain controller 2 CPUs. 4 GB is all right, but you have 30 GB RAM in this lab, so I'm gonna give it 8, and let's make it 80, but later on we can change it by changing it to thin. You can thin provision mean you can expand it later on if you have issues with the space. So here's the important thing: network, we only give you one network, so it should be default. You don't change that. And if you have to have CD, like if you had a physical CD on that server, you would pick this. But if you have that ISO that I just downloaded, then you will go to data store, and here you will pick the server. So right now you just need to make sure which one is the server. Right here it says server evaluation, so that's the server right there. If I click on this one, these are the Windows client. It says client right here. So I'm gonna pick the server, select next, and then finish. Okay, so we got the DC trainer machine ready, but it's not on yet. There's nothing done to it. Okay, so what do we do next? We're gonna click on it, and we're going to power it on. As soon as you power it on, you're gonna go to console, open the console, and quickly go to the console, click in the middle, and then hit the key, because it says that if you don't hit the key, it will just go to the error. You have to reboot again and then just hit the key again. And this is where you will see the server installation. Now, key point, we have already went through this in our training. We explained what is server and what is desktop, and here you're installing the server. The server will be kind of like maintaining all the desktops over here. That's how it works in the normal corporate level environment. You have a domain controller, everything is connected to it, you got the Active Directory coming from it. Every other machines or things are just coming through that authentications through the Active Directory if it's internal. So we're gonna click next, install now, and right now it's installing. We're going to click on desktop experience, data center, next. Alright, so we're going to accept it and click next, and here we're going to click on custom. We're not upgrading, we don't have operating system to upgrade, right? If it was, let's say, 2012, then we could have done that, but we're going to click on custom, and we're going to click next. That's it. This is all. If somebody asks you how do you install an operating system in a VMware, vSphere, ESXi, in a virtual environment, this is all you do. After this is a normal process. Everything is automated till the end. You're going to get the username and password. So this is a normal operating system that you're installing on the virtual machine. It's not a domain controller yet. It's just a server operating system. It's under work group environment, meaning nobody have access to it till you create that username and password. Everything still only you will have access to it. There's no services. It's not providing any services. It's not providing any roles, or it's not doing anything. This server is just useless at this point. It's a standalone server. Okay, so now we are going to install a client machine. So we got the domain controller. We're getting it ready, but before that, not wasting the time, let's just go to install the client. So we're going to make small this out and then click create, same name, and we're going to call it staff trainer. The reason I put staff trainer with it is because then my member will know that this is my machine. And here you click on Windows and pick Windows 10. You should have there. Next, and I'm gonna give it let's give it 4 CPU because we're gonna be working on this machine a lot. So we're gonna make it 8 GB. You get this error, that's fine, you can remove it. 80, let's change this to 10, and same process. Client, next, finish. So now we're installing a simple Windows 10 standalone operating system in the virtual environment. We're gonna click on it, power it on, and the same, we gotta do it quickly. Click in the middle here and then hit enter. This is all web-based, by the way. You can be anywhere in the world and you can access these powerful servers. That's the beauty of JobSkills Share, that we provide you every single thing hands-on that you can. You will be spending 90% of your time in these courses doing hands-on stuff with the new content that we are creating here, and also the live training is all hands-on. Okay, so now we're going to do the same process. You see how similar these installations are. They're very simple for a lot of people who haven't done virtual installation. I'll show you the beauty of these virtualization. It's so easy to do labs because back in the days we didn't have this ability. We have to do everything on the physical machines, and when you do a mistake you have to redo everything, and that's just that's why a lot of people were just hating on the whole learning part. Now it should be really easy. So here, accepted, custom, next, and it's automated. And we're gonna go back to what's happening to this one. 82% is done, and these servers are also pretty powerful. Even on the network, anywhere you are on the web base, you can see how easy you have 2 machines to play around with, and instructors will be there with you in the live training to lead you first. Then you will have your 20+ days to play around, do everything, mess around, just destroy these machines, learn some technical stuff, troubleshooting, learn from internet, learn from the practice labs, then come over here and practice. This is the key right here. So it's finished up. I'm gonna restart this. Okay, so here we're going to give it a password. This is a server. You can put any password, just make it easy for yourself in the labs. And we're going to log in. So to do the all control delete, you click on action, go to OS, send keys, all control delete, control all delete, and then here the password, you put the same password. And our Windows 10 is also almost done right here. Okay, so when the first time the server, you see the first time when it logs in, even if you put the name DC Trainer, that doesn't mean that the server name inside this virtual machine is DC Trainer. It comes with a generic name, so you need to change that to the the name that you would like to give, or make it easy for yourself, because it's going to have a very hard name to remember. So first thing we need to do is right click on it and then go to System, and you see that in system you'll see the name right here is win whatever. You're going to click on rename first, and then you'll click on, let's say we're just going to call it domain controller. So we're going to click on next, and we're going to restart it again with that new name. Okay, so now you change the name. We're going to go back to the domain controller server by action and guest OS, login. So there are a few things we need to do with this server. Since this is a lab environment, we need to make sure that it gets connection. Right now we do have internet connection. I can see it right here. But what I would like to do is turn off some of the firewall, internal firewall stuff. So some companies have this very kind of much figured out, like how to do it in internal firewall. Some companies just turn it off and they have external things taking care of this stuff. That's up to a company. So, but in our lab environment, we don't want any issues. So go to search and search for firewall. So here you just wait a second, and you want to click on this one, Windows Defender Firewall. It will pop up. So here you see we have it all turned on. We're going to first turn it off, turn off, and we're going to click OK. Alright, the second thing is that we need to enable the remote desktop, because it has to connect with other machine, it has to accept connections. So if you go to search and just type remote desktop, so you can see remote desktop connections, right? Allow desktop connections only from the authenticated, allow remote connection to this computer. So you click on allow remote connections to this computer. Once you do that, then you will have all these options will come up. So what you need to do is you need to click here, change the setting to allow computer. So if you click on show settings, you see said don't allow. I'm going to click on allow and click OK. You can, in a normal environment, this will be checked, but I'm going to uncheck it. You can even leave it checked, that's not a problem, but I just want to have no issues with the connection. So click apply, OK. So that's done. We changed the name. Now another thing about this is that since this is a lab environment, you're getting an internet connection from another router. This is not the main DNS DHCP server. Still, we need to make it somehow to retain the IP address when it changes. It's a dynamic DHCP address. So if you come here, go to the Open Network and Connections, go to Ethernet, and if you click on Change Adapter option, you right click here, you go to Properties, and click on IPv4 and go to Properties. You see it's getting automatic address. So what do we do here? You know, should we find the IP address and put it right here? That's fine, you can do that. But what I like to do is I usually add a loop address in the DNS. So this way, every time this IP address changes, it is going to the DNS will not have any issues. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 127.0.0.1, and also I'm going to put the Google DNS just for so it has some type of connection. You don't have to put this, but I like to put it there. The loop address is kind of like, you know, if this IP address changes, it's always going to be this IP address, and that's what we want for this domain controller, to keep its own IP address every time it's giving services. So we're going to click OK and close that, and you see we still have a connection here. So now what we do, we need to turn this domain controller into this server into a domain controller. We need to make sure that this machine is being managed by this machine. Now for some reason our client ISO, I noticed that it takes a lot of time, so you got to be patient with this. It will come up. If it's not working correctly, then we can change the ISO for this, but as soon as I was talking, it just started working. So you see it takes a little time for this desktop operating system, and server operating system was really fast. So something is either not right with ISO, with the one that we are using. We may have to update it, or maybe it is like this. So to get the server installation, you need to click on Start, go to Server Manager, and this is where we need to put the domain controller. We need to turn this machine into kind of like a master, okay? And that's what we are doing right now. We're giving it more powers now, okay? So now we have done the basic stuff. We're going to come to tools. Manage. We're going to click on add roles and features. We're going to click next and next again. And here you see the name is changed. If it wasn't changed, then you will have issues right here. This is the IP address, and any other IP address that gets changed will be the same then, because we are using that loop in the DNS. Here you need to use Active Directory Domain Services. As soon as you click on it, it will tell you that we need to install other things too for this to work. So say yes. And we're going to click next. Rest, just click next on everything. We don't need to worry about it right now. This is something that we will discuss in our server course, so don't worry about it. There's too many labs with us too in a practice lab environment that is step-by-step taught to you, so don't worry about all of this stuff. And click install. Right now we're installing the domain controller. So the domain controller is almost done. We need to promote this server to the domain controller, so we're going to click on promote this server to domain. And this is where you need to create a new domain, so you need to click on add a new forest. And here we can type something like, let's say, headquarter.jobskillshare.org. And then we're going to click next here. Like I said, if you don't understand all this stuff, you need to be taking the server courses, server labs that we have in the practice lab environment, and that will teach you all this stuff. Put the password, click next. So you see, it requires a DNS, but it will create a DNS on this same server. So we're going to click next here. Here you have to wait a little bit. You see this is loading. And NetBIOS name, we're going to give it something very short. So it automatically picks it. We're just going to remove that 0 from there, and we're going to click next. HQ is enough. Okay, so this is already taken by another lab, so we're going to actually change it. We're going to go with the HJ. Let's just try that. Okay, took the HJ. I'm going to click next now, and here it gives you all the details. If you are a scripting person, you want to know about PowerShell stuff, you can click on this and it will show you everything. You can just copy paste this, drop it into that PowerShell. You don't have to do all these steps again in the new server if you want to make a domain controller. Click next and this will finish up. It will restart, and this is then our domain controller. Until this is happening, we're going to go to this machine and start configuring it. And here we're going to install. So this is a basic setup for Windows 10 now. We are going to just go over some of the things and get the account, change the name of this machine, and then we will try to add this machine to this machine. So then the administrator from this machine can manage this machine. So think of this as, let's say, 400 computer, 1000 computers that all can be then added to this, and one administrator can manage it. Here we are going to click on domain join instead. Okay, we're going to give it a name. It's called for the name. We're going to call it help desk. Next. Password. I like to keep the same password to make it easy. Okay. Okay, what's the name of the city? Well, I'm just going to keep dropping things. I'm going to finish these 3 security questions and come back. Alright, I'm going to decline this. So now we set up our first operating system for clients, staff members, even help desk. People use normal operating system to do their job. And on the right side, the server is getting ready. The domain controller is almost getting ready. It's going to be up in a few seconds, and then we can manage this. Okay, welcome back. So our domain controller is up and ready. I already logged into the domain controller, and this is our staff trainer machine. Now, if you see something like this, which you will see some more computers right here. Now, this is, while I'm doing this recording, I'm actually going to provide second training to the member. So I needed to create a whole new work group environment, and we're going to turn this into a domain controller environment, and we're going to learn all the group policy, Active Directory, everything over here. So just don't get confused. Just think that all this stuff does not exist, because I'm not going to show anything in this right here. Only this, and this is the focus here. Okay. So the domain controller is up and ready. The first thing what you do is you go to the domain controller and you create a help desk account. So you're going to click on it, go to server manager, and here you have an Active Directory right here. Now this is another thing about if you are basically taking the Active Directory courses online on our platform, and that may be a little outdated. At this point it is outdated, and that's why we're working on it to create a new course based on this server. Back in the days, we were actually doing this on a practice lab, which is a good option. They also give you exactly the same domain controller, but the problem with that is that if you have to install something custom, let's say a software where you have to find out lockouts or things like that, and then you get tired today, you want to come tomorrow, that software will not be there anymore because it's going to be gone. Or first, you won't even get it because it's too locked down. Here, this lab is not locked down at all. So that's why you have this ability to freely practice without any stress. And that's why I recommend people to either get yourself an ESXi and put it on one of your servers, or buy the servers from us for 30 days and stress-free environment, access it from anywhere. So now the first thing we need to do is to go to Active Directory users and management computer. So right here. So this is you see HQ jobskillshare.org just came up over here, DC trainer. It's kind of strange that I put @j in there and it's still giving me HQ. That's strange. Okay. I'm not sure what happened here. Okay, so here we are going to come in and go to users, and then we're going to create a user here. And let's go ahead and create a help desk account. I'm going to click new. I'm going to click on user, and here I am creating an account. This is how you create an account in Active Directory. Later on in your new Active Directory course, you will learn how to set up your full help desk machine, which I'm going to show in this live training. Later on, when I create the self-paced video, the new one, I'm going to show that as well. So let's go ahead and click on help desk, and we're going to name it is actually @j right here. Okay, help desk, and then we're going to click on next, and here we are going to give it the same password. I want to keep everything same in the lab. Now I'm going to say don't change it to next logon. This is the stuff that you will learn from the Active Directory course, so we won't waste our time. We're just creating a username. Finish. Right click here, go to properties, and make this account a domain admin. Okay, domain admin. Oops, domain admins. So click on apply. Now this help desk account have a power now. This help desk account can go to any of these machines, turn it on. Because they're in work group, they can do the same process that I'm going to do on the staff trainer, and then now this DC trainer computer can control all of these machines. But we're going to just do one example here. I first need to change the name of this machine. Remember that when you put it in the ESXi, that does not mean that the name of that machine will be converted here also. You need to change that over here. So I'm just going to call it staff 1, and I'm going to click next. And before I restart this machine, I am going to do the firewall stuff, the same firewall stuff on this machine as well. I'm just going to wait. Windows Firewall came up, and I'm going to turn it off. All right, now I'm going to go to the remote desktop, and we're going to see allow remote desktop, show settings. Actually, let me close this, restart later. Show settings, allow, I'm going to uncheck this one, and apply, and OK. There's one critical piece for you to get connected to this domain controller in the lab environment. Now, a lot of people may say, you can do this the other way, this way. Keep things easy because you're in the lab environment. You are in an environment where you're getting connection the routers, switches and stuff. You're not dealing with that in help desk in this labs, in these courses. So right now we're not dealing about that. Don't worry about that stuff. Right now focus everything on Active Directory, help desk, deployments, troubleshooting, remote troubleshooting, stuff like that is very important for you in a help desk position. So you are going to then turn this machine. You're going to first go to the domain controller, and you're going to type CMD. This is where you can find the IP address of the machine. There are other ways too, but this is an easy way from the command line. And this is the IP address that we need to come here and put it on in the DNS. So we're going to go to Open Network. You don't do this in a normal work environment. That's kind of automatically done for you. And that's something you will learn as a system administrator, how to do DNS, DHCP stuff. You should know the names of it, how it works, but most likely people are not going to ask you these type of questions very detailed, because this is a sysadmin job. Now, you're going to come here and we're going to put that DNS, the DNS IP address, the domain controller IP address in your DNS for the staff. So 192.168.168.10, and what is that? 166. Let's put 88888 in here. This is Google DNS. We're going to click OK now, and we're going to restart this machine. If we missed something, we're going to find out. But again, this whole video is for you to... Did I just logged out? Actually, I need to restart this machine. So let's just do a kind of like this. Power, reset. I know that's not a good way, but I'm still going to do it. But the main reason for you to watch this is that how easy it is for you to just pick anything from the help desk course, pick anything from that Active Directory course, pick anything from the practice lab, pick anything from YouTube channels, or pick anything from Google and come here. And if you can do this in the virtual environment, most likely you will do it, because that's how things are working. You just need a domain controller, and you need a relaxed environment where you can just do things without being worried that it's going to get wiped out by tomorrow. So you have 30 days to mess around in our system, and of course if you have your own server, then that's for life. So I'm going to restart this machine just to show you the connection, and it works. I'll show you how you can connect it to this domain controller, and then the rest is all in our courses. So make sure you go to our site, take the fundamental, take this course. This is getting developed. Then you can take the ticketing system course. You can do some stuff in that. Active Directory, you can totally do this course in there. Then we have other things like, Office 365 is not actually included in this one. That's a cloud-based, so you won't see much in that course. But the rest, technical skills are there, And if you want to see, okay, I want to take that free help desk course, I want to apply all these things, just go to the home page, then open that help desk course, and try to do the same things in this lab. Now I know you cannot cover every single thing, because sometimes you show video on the phone, and those are real hardware videos, which is just for you to get an image in your head. That doesn't mean that you get stuck in there. You can always create something in your environment here and just kind of cover that. Don't worry too much about this stuff. You don't have to do everything as a master or experienced person. You just need to know how to do it basic way, and that should be good to go. Okay, now let's get back to the lab. Alright, so it's up now, and you see it's still not domain joined. This is a work group computer. Okay, I just need to log in with the account that I created, and then we're going to join this machine to the domain. Alright, so now I'm going to right click here, go to System, and then what you want to do, you want to come down, and you see that if you basically come to the system inside the Windows 10, you won't see like here. But what you want to do right here, you just do this domain, join C organization, work group, access work or school, C organization or work group for this computer, so access work or school. And then here you're going to click on connect. Here it'll tell you join this device to local Active Directory domain, and we're going to type that domain address. Now if you remember, we were using, I think, HJ. Let's see if that works. So you got the prompt right there, so let's see if you're going to work. Now we're going to use HJ / helpdesk and the password. If the password is wrong, or if this machine cannot talk to that domain controller, then this will not work. If everything is okay, then maybe the password is wrong. So we'll have to figure this out. We'll check if it works. It worked. So it can talk to the domain controller, and then you will change the name to administrator. Next, and restart this machine. Now, what will happen? When you restart this machine, if you go back to your Active Directory, go to computers, there you go, staff 1 is now being managed. You can do anything with this staff 1. You can add more users here now and let these users connect to staff 1. You can then try to do a lot of stuff from that Active Directory course. Lock this user out, try to troubleshoot it, try to find a solution for it, try to see something in real, and this is how you learn Active Directory stuff. Very easy stuff. But once you know how to kind of like, have your own domain controller like this, then everything is easy. Okay? Of course, it's not that simple. We teach you a lot of stuff in this, this huge trainings and live training, and then you have these practice labs. In practice labs, there's no specific Active Directory course, but there's modules, like small modules in premium access, because those are also designed for system administrator, but still you can go in and learn that stuff, because you may see something like creating an account, recovering an account, something like that. As a system administrator, maybe that will help you even more to refine your skills. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any question about these labs or servers, let us know.